and all my cousins and my nieces and my nephews, I'd just like to say how grateful we are to have the relationship we have with you, continue to have with you, and recognizing that we are very blessed to learn from you, to continue to learn from you, and may you continue to have simchas forever and ever and ever. We love you and have fun.
And we all know the best. So you've heard from the oldest, the youngest. So now it's an opportunity for the middle.
We're very into Chayei Sarah in this family. So last week we read Parshat Chayei Sarah, in which there is a verse, "Va'Avraham zakein bo bayamin, v'Hashem berach et Avraham bakol." Abraham was advanced in days, and Hashem had blessed Abraham in all things. Rashi explains that the word bakol refers to Abraham's child. The true blessing that is conferred upon a person is the realization that what they started will continue to grow for years to come. Today we celebrate the future, a future made possible by the nurturing and love that has been bestowed upon us all by Matu. The Gemara relates the story of a tree. A man was traveling through the desert, hungry, thirsty, and tired. Soon he came upon a tree bearing luscious fruit and affording plenty of shade, underneath which ran a spring of water. He ate the fruit, drank of the water, and rested beneath the shade. When he was about to leave, he turned to the tree and said, "Tree, O tree, with what should I bless you? Should I bless you that your fruit be sweet? Your fruit is already sweet. Should I bless you that your shade be plentiful? Your shade is plentiful. That a spring of water should run beneath you? A spring of water already runs beneath you. There is one thing with which I can bless you. May it be God's will that all the trees planted from your seeds should be like you. Thanks to you and Dad, our family has been blessed with the strongest of roots. May all that continue to grow and flourish. I love you."
So, with the greatest respect, love, and honor, Uncle Al, it's your turn.
You can sit and walk.
Can I sit?
Yes, everyone can see you.
Promise?
I want to hear you. You can sit next to your favorite niece. Oh, sorry. Sit next to your
Just need to get a picture.
I'm not going to say a word.
Don't bother you. Next to me.
Heute ist ein sehr spezieller Tag. Wir sind hier zusammengekommen,
I told him to speak again. I told him to speak in German.
anyway. What I'm trying to say is today is a very special day for all of us. My sister, who was born exactly 80 years, 12 hours, 6 minutes, and 7 chalukim ago. I was her middle brother. I was actually 9 years older than my sister. But there's part of Ruth's history which you don't know, and I'd like to bring you up to date. Ruth's parents, who were also my parents, were born in Poland, which at the time was actually part of the German Empire. And my father, may he rest in peace, was born in 1895, October the 23rd. He only was 5 years old when he lost his dad. And he was raised by a single mother. He had 2 brothers and 2 sisters, whom you probably never heard of. He had a sister Bertha and a sister River, and he had an older brother Chaim, and then he had another brother, Lev. My father was the youngest of 5 children. At the age of 18, he was conscripted into the army, and he fought on the wrong side of the war. He was an Austrian citizen, and he served from 1914 to 1918 in the Russian army. After the war, when he returned home, he realized there was no future for him in Poland. So he moved to Germany, where he had an older brother. My father's older brother was Uncle Chaim, as you probably remember him. And he made a success of himself in the city of Cologne, which is Köln am Rhein in Germany. My father moved to Germany and on his own started a very successful business. He dealt in metal products.
Lucy, tell him to call back. I can call back.
But he launched a business of his own in town, which at one time became the English German in because he dealt in non-fair methods of business. He was quite successful. He kept the business until later years. But meanwhile, a young lady picked up
It's on one of the tapes. Oh, no, this one, yeah.
I do have it.
This is my mother. I have a couple of you can pass them around. This is my mother as a baby with her mother.
Jenny.
Not yet, sweetheart, pretty soon.
in 1921. They made a shidduch, and my mother, may she rest in peace, married my dad in Cologne, Germany. Cologne, which was known as Cologne am Rhein, Cologne on the Rhine. In 1923, my older brother, may he rest in peace, was born on October the 21st, and I was born on December 3rd, 1924, and my lovely young sister was born 9 years later, on November the 2nd, 1933. Now, 1933 had very historic implications. That's when the son of a bitch Hitler came into power.
Some people say you mock Shema.
Some people call him a nasty guy.
But effective, not clear.
I'm going to fast forward it, but I have brought books along. School, we children attended the private schools. My dad, may he rest in peace, having been financially successful, sent his children to private schools. And backtracking, to my mother's family. She was one of 9 children. There was 6 girls, 6 ladies, and 3 men. And just to show you that I remember, I'll enumerate them by name.
Seriously, let's hear it.
There was Salcha, Malcha. We had an aunt, may she rest in peace, who was murdered. She was slain in her home.
Not during the Holocaust.
No.
This was an invasion.
It was Salcha, Malcha, Busha, Tusha, that's mom.
What's mom?
She has many different names.
Why, was she in the witness protection program or something?
And there was Shango. There were 6 girls.
The
And
cricket
there
we all
was-
know?
And there was Bacon and Romick and Shmuel. Shmuel went to Israel.
Right, and I saw him in it.
Now, my mother's family, may they rest in peace, had a very good educational background. Her second brother, Romick, became a dentist, and he had a practice in Bochnia, Poland. And he had the only automobile in town. He owned a convertible. And this goes back to the late 1920s. Every year, summertime, our mother used to take the family to visit the family in Poland. And we spent summers for 6 weeks every summer visiting grandparents.
Middle green. Middle green.
Mingle
Green.
Mingle Green.
Where in Poland?
What's that?
Where in Poland?
Bochnia, and they had
Brachnia.
Bochnia.
Kogelitz, no?
my grandparents had a shank. That was a bar.
Now we know why.
You know what he said.
Now we know why they.
I'm glad you understand my background.
Now we know why they had to change their names all the time to 6 names.
Poor mother, right? She couldn't escape.
On Sundays, my grandfather would buy a half a cow and as the Gentile people would leave church on the way home, they stopped by and they'd be buying butcher goods, meat for my grandfather. And during the week, they ran but they were financially very successful. And they sent their children to private schools, and they did a lot of traveling. This now brings me to the point of in the late 20s, early 30s, then my sweet sister came along in 1933.
And spoiled it.
Then the depression came.
We were all sent to private school. In fact, I brought a book along which gives you the background of a school which was the Yavne in Crown. And we all went to school there. And my dad, may he rest in peace, was a very bright man. He recognized that things in Germany were not going to fare well for the Jewish people. And he made an effort to leave Germany and come to the United States. He was able to get his visa as a capitalist. He had enough funds in Switzerland to prove to the American government that he would be able to sustain himself and his family without becoming a burden to the state. So in August 1938, On August the 4th, our family emigrated to the United States. My mother had family in Newark, and my father had a first cousin, Rothenberg.
That's Esther Cole.
It was Esther Cole's
That's the
grandparents.
connection. Right. That was my father's. His mother was a Rothenberg.
My mother, now the other interesting thing, my grandmother was a Rothenberg, and her first cousin was Chief Rabbi of Belgium. Was a Rabbi Rothenberg in Brussels, Belgium. Now, all of my grandparents and their families happened to be Orthodox Jews. They were Yeshiva people. And my mother's sisters, my mother's brothers-in-law, most of them were part of the no.
Vishnu.
Baba. They were most Baba the Hasidim. So, anyway, in 1928, we moved to the United States. Came parents, United States, my brother, to our yeshivas wanted whether or not to go to yeshiva. They took us to a couple of yeshivas. I took us into the kitchen, we like this. Walked in the kitchen, and I smelled because we feel
Joshua was busy. Don't be so.
We have a shamus and lunch with the shoe down after lunch to 8. We go down a little and old people that they had with us old Jew with the Sycamores, and we studied the sons to explore the initiated subsource with this. This of course went on unfortunately 43 in 1953 lost on February weekend Albany. My brother, happy birthday, 7. And my brother was 17, and was course at 8. 9 years of that time was only years old. Interesting that did. And interesting things happen. The first after summer passed. My mom, my dad, died and we had to see him. 19 summer grade, which was in
Where's Mom? It's coming.
that's
Summer camp.
and who had been to camp, a Mr. Mixer. Camp was
We know this.
was a friend. He was a personal friend of Einstein.
Where's Mark?
He's here.
Get the prize. Get the prize. Get the prize. Prop.
Dad dressed when my desert route made a Sunday and to visit Ruth on the Sunday. Right, produce and obviously stand introduced my dad with Einstein to dad and Mr. In when Albert Einstein indicated that Ruth Einstein's father daughter was to be marked as Einstein.
How's that? I want drum roll. They have to memorize this. As they're drunk in German, it's in German. Memorize, repeat it. They walk, say. Yes, Proverbs, Proverbs. Let's.
Sehr
Go ahead.
laue.
Proverbs, wait. In our schlaue Tochter. She looks like a scrawny chicken. That's what he said to me. Oh, what is it?
Does this look like a scrawny chicken?
Tell us what it means, Al. What exactly, in English, tell us what it means.
Can you help me with the theory of relativity?
Anyway,
These shades don't know what it means. I don't know what it means.
glad.
Yeah, translate. Let's go.
You have a very bright daughter. This came from
Do you see
Albert
what you
Einstein.
married into?
He said to her that she
Yeah. That's in our
Then she skipped 3 grades in high school.
Time for Minford.
Time for me. Let's go.
Anyway, I don't want to drag it out too long. You probably know that Ruth was also academically outstanding. She skipped, I don't know, 2-3 times.
There you go.
As a result, I learned to do math.
That's true. That's true. I learned. We talked. If I look back at a 1/4 that bigger than 1/8 is when Mo started dabbling in the stock market, and I was having a heart attack, and I would read the papers. I was going to school as soon as classes were out. I would buy a newspaper to see what happened to the stock. That's when I learned memorizing. So I didn't quite understand that one quarter is bigger than 1/8. I know it now, don't I?
But anyway, back and trying to close this out. When we came to this country in 1938, I couldn't speak English. I still don't speak it well.
Who said?
But I met my best friend, who happened to have been Mo. Mo spoke Yiddish. We were able to communicate, and we became very good friends. Mo started high schools. Westside High School was in my grade, but then when the war started, I guess his father had enough foresight to put him in the yeshiva, and Mo did not have to serve in the army. My brother and I were both drafted. We served in the United States infantry. We both served about 3 years, and we were engaged in warfare in the Pacific. They would not send us to Germany because some idiot in the army felt we were born in Germany and therefore couldn't be trusted. Yet my cousins, who were also born in Germany, went back to Europe, Sigmund
And Paul.
and Philip. So anyway, things come to an end. We had a pretty good life here. I met my lovely wife, where is she?
Back here.
But I have to give a lot of credit to my sister Ruth, who was very instrumental in making a good cook out of my wife.
I don't know, as kids, we sometimes actually prefer brains and It's true.
And we always lived in close proximity. In fact, in Newark, we lived about 2 blocks away from the 70s. And one year, I was sent on an assignment to England, where I had to spend 6 weeks, which also included the Passover holidays and the Titor family invited my wife and my 2 older sons to spend the Passover Sidorim with them. And they spent this 2 Seder's on Goodwin Avenue. Anyway, we've had good relationships. Always, my family loved my brother's family. We're well represented here by Neil and Dora. And we had a very close relationship. So here we are, blessed with the fact that we are able to celebrate the 80th birthday of my baby sister. Basically, that's all I have to tell you now.
Sure.